Hi, I'm Cindy Law, and today my persuasive speech is about declawing cats. The goals of my speech are to talk about the facts of declawing a cat, determining if a cat is right for your family, and the reasons that people have their cats declawed. There are really just a couple of reasons that people have a cat declawed, and I'm sure you're all familiar with them. Cats definitely like to scratch on furniture or clothing, and they climb curtains, which can be really annoying, and so they destroy personal belongings, and often people have them declawed for that reason. Also, cat scratches can cause allergies in people, and so if a person is allergic, they may be prone to have their cat declawed. People who don't have their cat declawed, but they're sick of them ruining their belongings, or they're allergic to their scratching, maybe they can't afford to have them declawed, or they feel that it's not right to have them declawed, then they either have their cat euthanized or they give it to another home, which could just make the problems worse. So thinking about the anatomy of a cat versus a human, if you were to remove the nail from a person, then you're looking at removing the nail to the nail bed to prevent the nail from growing. And in people, if you have a nail removed, then it would be a finger or two or your toes. But with cats, you're actually amputating their toe, every toe, to the first knuckle on a human. And the reason this is done is because if you don't cut the joint between the toes, then the cat's claw will try to regrow again, and that will cause infection and more surgery, more money being put into having this cat declawed, and excruciating pain for the animal. So there are a couple of common methods that are used to declaw cats. The first method is the guillotine method, and in this procedure, the cat's pad, where the soft tissue lies underneath, is cut in half, and the vet cuts the toes at the joint between the bones and removes them. It's quick and cheap. The second method is a cosmetic declawing, and a blade is inserted into the toe, which prevents cutting the pad open and then cutting the joint between the bones as well and removing them. It's a more lengthy surgery, which would mean that it would cost more money to have it done. So most times, if a vet will do the declawing, they do the guillotine method. There's a book out by Dr. Nicholas Dodman. It's called The Cat Who Cried for Help. There's a quote in the book that I'm going to quickly read. Unlike routine recoveries, including recovering from neutering surgeries, which are fairly peaceful, declawing surgery results in cats bouncing off the walls of the recovery cage because of excruciating pain. Declawing fits the dictionary definition of mutilating to a T. Dr. Dodman also thinks that the amputation of cats' toes is equal to the amputations performed on war prisoners. And I think this would be because of the phantom limb syndrome, and also the pain that's associated. Animals feel pain just like people do. So thinking of the physiology between cats and people, think about what your life would be like if you lost all of your fingers at this first knuckle and you want to open a pop top, or you have an itch that you need to scratch, or you want to grab and pick up objects. You've taken away, you don't have that sense of feeling anymore at the nerves at the end of your fingers to be able to perform those tasks easily. Thinking about a cat, although they don't have fingers, they still have senses in their toes, and they use their toes for balance and agility. I have a cat who's missing a toe, and it throws off his gait a bit. Also, they mark their territory using their scratching, because there are scent glands in their feet. And so then they have this sense of belonging in your home. And they also use their clawing for exercise, as they hook into a carpet or a cardboard or whatever it may be and pull themselves. They're exercising their muscles, and it's good for their muscle strength. So often the results from declawing a cat, they may avoid the litter box because of discomfort. Their toes hurt, and there are chemicals in the litter that could make it uncomfortable for them. And so we don't send cats for counseling, or maybe some people do, but we don't know how that would all work out. But they would avoid the cat box. That would be their natural instinct. As I mentioned before, they have the phantom limb pain, and they may start using biting as their defense because they no longer have their claws to use as their defense mechanism. Cats can also be crippled from being declawed. There's a video at the end of my PowerPoint of Kona. He was a mountain lion, and his owners wanted him to be a movie star, so they had him declawed, and the poor guy can barely walk from being declawed. It's heartbreaking. So the alternatives to having your cat declawed, think about vinyl claw covers. You can get them in a pet store. PetSmart sells them. And it's like gluing on fake fingernails, pretty much. My daughter does it with her cat. You can train them not to claw your furniture. I've done that with my cats. You need to start when they're kittens, not when they're full-grown cats and they already have bad habits. But there's a spray called Fell-Away that's out there, and it mimics the facial pheromone, the facial glands, the pheromones of a cat, and so their territory would already be marked and they wouldn't need to scratch their territory. You could also put furniture covers over your furniture, or I have several cardboard scratchers and sisal posts, and they love to scratch on those. You can also trim their nails. Good luck with that. I have no luck with my cats trimming their nails, but you could do that. Statistically, I don't think people really think about this issue one way or the other, unless you're a cat lover or a cat hater, I guess. Curse Incorporated, they did a small population survey. There were 581 participants, and they were asking people how they feel about declawing, if they think it's okay. And of those 581 people, 396 people, or 68% of the participants were against declawing cats. It's just a small sample of the population. As far as legislation goes, Linda B. Rosenthal, an assemblywoman from right here in New York State, where I'm from, she has a bill out. It's A 1927, trying to ban the declawing of cats in New York State. I think it's important legislation. I guess I'm supposed to give you an unbiased opinion, but that's what I think. In Rhode Island in 2014, landlords are now prohibited from requiring people to declaw or devocalize their pets. It's a law similar to California. So in conclusion, I'm really asking you to just think about the humaneness of having a cat declawed. You may not have thought about what it really means to have a cat declawed, that it's actually an amputation. It is not just cutting off their claws. I'm asking you to make a conscientious decision, a conscious decision. These are live creatures, and They don't deserve to be mutilated. And then of course there's Kona. Please take a look at the video of Kona, and he's in captivity and he's crippled from declawing. Thank you for your time. Be a responsible pet owner. Thank you.